What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Align Tell 'em. Today we got a very special guest, and I'm very excited to talk to this guy today. So without further ado, let's just get right into it.
How's it going, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Good to see you.
For the people, let them know who you are.
My name is David. I go by DRCR. I am creative director, video person, photo person, designer. I do a bunch of shit. I'm poor, so I don't have to do it all myself. So here we are.
You and me both, brother. But bro, I want to get into like how. First of all, I met you through the same route as
100%.
I met
This is
your whole group.
3 people.
Yeah. Next, who knows? We'll see who's next in
know.
there. But probably Trey. But
That'd be a good. That's a good. Dude. They're both. All 3 of them are great. They're all great.
we go back.
They're all. Oh, that's right. You guys do with middle school or whatever.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
okay.
no, yeah. I've been trying to get him on, but scheduling has been a bitch lately.
Fair.
Bro, so you mentioned you do video, you shoot videos, you edit videos, but more specifically, like you're a creative director, right?
Nowadays, yeah. Nowadays, I don't do a lot of the actual shooting and stuff anymore. I haven't shot a music video since what, April?
Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't manned the camera in a while. So yeah, mostly just directing and conceptualizing and branding, things like that. So that's really what I do now.
So first of all, let me ask you, like, from the beginning, how did this all start for you, bro? Like what was the first, like, what first sparked your interest that you're like, oh, like this is like something cool that I don't want to keep doing? Yeah.
Oh shit. So my first like thing like ever that I ever did, I went to a program called Breakthrough.
Okay.
With Trey and with Gio, and that's what I kind of remember meeting them and seeing them around, but we weren't really tight at all. And that program is basically like summer school. Like they just really make school in the summer for fun. It's fucking, like, looking at it now, it's fucking awful. But it was a good time. You had fun. You had snacks with your boys and shit. It was fun. And they're like, hey, can you make like a PowerPoint or something for like our end of year fucking speech or whatever, like an event that we have, like the parents come and shit. And I was like, yeah, why not? But I don't like school. I hate school.
Right.
Academics are not for me. I'm still enrolled in college, but it's not for me. So instead of doing like a PowerPoint, you remember those iMovie trailers?
Yeah.
Like those super fucking corny ones?
Like the cinematic, like,
yeah. That's all I knew, and I had a fucking iPad that like my grandma gave me for Christmas. So instead of a PowerPoint, I made a bunch of like little iMovie trailers for each subject, and they put them on display for like 100 people. And that was the first thing I ever did, kind of let go of it until high school. Went to public school my whole life. I went to Gables for a year. We talked about that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I never knew you went there, but
yeah, I've been a public school kid my whole life. I went to Carver for middle school, Corway.
Yeah. I
was like Latino shit. And then I ended up going to LaSalle, which is a private Catholic school for the rest of high school. And they have money. They have like iPads and Macs and shit. Everyone gets a fucking iPad, and like you take tests. Like, dude, that was wild. You like take homework and tests and quizzes and like attendance. You ask for the fucking bathroom pass on an iPad. It's wild. It's fucking... Dude,
I remember the days we had to...
Bro, the cafeteria, they have like a salad bar and like vegan and keto options and shit. And I'm like, what? You guys got like frozen pizza squares?
Bro,
shit.
We got lucky if we had the round pizzas with the sauce.
The bacon shit, yeah.
We got lucky if those lasted.
those were fire. If you got one.
And the sidekicks, those were gone.
Yep, those, non-existent. But so I went there, and I spent like my sophomore year getting to know people and shit, and like meeting new people and shit. Finished the year, and they told me, hey, you have to take an elective. I didn't know that. I was like, oh shit, you guys just don't put me in classes and shit. My bad. And they're like, we have acting and like home ec and TV production, and I was like, fuck that. I don't want to know how to sew and shit. So put me in TV production, and that was it. I got bitten by that bug, and I never looked back. That was my thing from there on out.
Like, what was your first real project that you worked on? Like,
I went a very different route. I chose, right, because when you think of somebody who does like video shit, you think of like the guy who did it in high school and then like got really into shooting concerts or sports or whatever, and he goes freelancing. I've never done freelance. Never.
You've always done like contracts or?
No. I straight up went the completely untraditional route, even for that, which is a very untraditional thing. I realized that I spent like 2 weeks, right, after I finished high school, went to college in North Carolina. My parents wanted me to focus on school. Obviously, that didn't work out. While I was in college, for those like 2 years, I don't think I went to more than like 50 classes. Like I just didn't go to class at all. And I just like was vlogging. This is like 2018. And I was making YouTube vlogs, like Casey Neistat kind of vlogs.
Yeah.
And I was doing that 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that shit's wild. That blew my mind in terms of work ethic.
Like, let me tell you something. I used to try to do a weekly vlog. And that felt like a lot. Because I was like, is my life interesting enough to do a weekly vlog?
Fuck that. Listen.
So imagine 3 times a week. I'm like, what do you do?
This was my schedule. Keep in mind, I didn't add classes to this. I sacrificed academics to do this. This is the reason that I flunked out of college. Solely, like 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't drink. I didn't go nuts. I didn't party. I didn't do anything. All I did was make YouTube videos for like, I think like a good 9 months, 10 months. And then I stopped. I just burned out. It was way too much. This was my week. I was posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday I posted. Wednesday I'm posting. But I don't have anything filmed for Wednesday already. So Monday morning I have to post and I have to film.
You have to do shit.
I have to record everything. Tuesday I edit to post Wednesday. Wednesday I wake up and I have to post on Friday. So I have to record Wednesday too.
Edit Thursday.
Edit Thursday. Post on Friday.
At least Friday, you have the weekend to post for Monday.
I thought, right, yeah, that was the buffer. But that Sunday night, I would catch up on homework. By catch up on homework, I mean that I would like Google everything.
Do the bare minimum.
Yes, I'm like, we're shooting C's or fucking 3-pointers from half court.
Yeah.
70s is
C's
like,
get degrees. I like, live by that.
75 is like you're Tom Brady right now if you're getting 75s. But Friday I had to record. Friday, all the cool shit would happen. Saturday, all the cool shit would happen. And so I came up with this thing that was like Montage Mondays. So Mondays was just a recap of my weekend as a giant montage.
That's genius.
And I would do that every single week.
So like, you barely had to edit, if
no,
anything.
I'm putting out like 15-minute videos. Cinematic, vlogging, transitions, effects, titles, all the plus Instagram content, stories. So
at that point, you were like set on being like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber.
At that point, no. I've never really had a plan.
Yeah.
I've never like committed to doing pretty much anything else that's not what I feel like doing. Like I only do what I feel like doing, which is it's a double-edged sword. It is a problem.
It's too tight, bro. You and Bad Bunny, bro. Y'all, oh my God.
I did it first.
Yeah.
I did it first. But yeah, no, it's a very difficult system to maintain, right? Because unless you're like a trust fund baby,
it's very expensive,
dude. My entire college experience, I didn't have a car, first of all.
Right.
And when I tell you, I went to a school called Belmont Abbey. When I tell you it's in the middle of nowhere, I mean I'm talking like it's a half hour outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is decently compact, right? Because here everything's spread out. When I tell you it's a small town, I mean like I got there. It was the only college that I got accepted to.
Okay.
The only college I got accepted to. The only reason I applied was because a girl that I liked walked into a class with a fucking pamphlet, and I was like, "What is that?" She told me about it, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm
my kind of
I
school."
wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. I didn't want to be here anymore.
Right.
Because Miami, it's a very toxic place. A lot of toxic people. Beautiful city.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Lots to do. A lot of opportunity, but the people are just
small-minded, I think.
Yes, very, very. For such a new and like vibrant city, people are really fucking old school here. They're really, really behind.
Yeah, bro. I'm so glad you brought this up because I think about that all the time, especially when I'm like, yo, and meeting people we've met, like, there's so much fucking opportunity, like,
tons
to do shit here, and it's like, I feel like everyone's just like, oh no, it's like, why don't you just like do like what everybody does?
Go to FIU.
Yeah.
Go to FIU.
Yeah.
Go to day 2 years and then FIU. Then you finish, you go get a job. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then go to Central.
You're not wrong. I mean, listen, especially, and I've noticed it with my relationship with Eliang.
Yeah. Is
that the people that really, really have the mentality of not only like work ethic, but just like not being a dick, not being an asshole, and being open to criticism and to growth and to collaborativeness is very, very limited here.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just wanted to get the fuck out. I just wanted to leave. So I get into the school. I commit without even visiting. Keep in mind, this town has 12,000 people.
You think you would have backed out if you would have seen that before?
Probably. The facility is shit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't go there anymore, so I can talk all the shit I want.
Shit on them.
I don't have the money. I'm good. The facility is garbage.
Yeah. It's
a school from like the 1800s. It's old as shit. It's old as fuck. The gym doesn't have air conditioning. I'm not kidding.
Yo.
Google it. He's laughing on camera. He's laughing off camera, but I swear to God. Google it. It's called Belmont Abbey. The whole school has like 3,000 kids. I got there. I didn't realize I had my mom's sister living 5 minutes from the school. I didn't know this. I saw an acceptance letter and I was like, fuck it, I'm there. I didn't even apply to Dade. I didn't apply anywhere else.
I feel like you don't even have to apply to Dade. I feel like they're just like, welcome.
They did, yeah. They're just like, hey, here's your student number. And I was like, I bet.
I feel like when I was applying in college, I was one of those small-minded people, bro. I was like, why am I going to apply anywhere else? I should go to Dade.
Nah, fuck that.
Like, and
fuck that.
And that fucked me. Because I was like...
That. How old are you, actually?
Bro, I'm 23. I had to think about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. I turned 23 in May. So I'm 22 right now.
Enjoy your youth, bro.
Dude, you're telling me I feel like I'm 55. I feel like I'm fucking
just wait till that 23 hit.
Fuck that, dude. I'm looking at John.
Yo, I wake up, my back hurts from sneezing. It's like, yo, I feel like I'm 50, bro.
You know what?
I have a new ache every day.
You know how old I am? You know how like how committed I am to like old school Latino shit? That when you said that, you know the first thing I thought of? Tempur-Pedic. Tempur-Pedic. I swear to God, like I saw it on like Goigoechea. Available at Walgreens.
Bro.
On Telemundo.
Literally, like, it sounds so stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, like when I'm telling you like this small town was a small town, like I didn't have a car. So I couldn't go to the city. I couldn't go to Charlotte. I couldn't like go see a concert.
And that affects your content because you're posting kind of like
what the
similar shit every. Yeah.
What the fuck do I do? So I literally became obsessed with this idea of like I need to be like a personality on campus.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite memories of going to that, it was like great. Like I had a fun time because for 2 years I literally did nothing else but have fun.
Right.
Like I didn't go to a single class.
Yeah, you were focusing on the good times of college.
Dude, they knew, like the professors, even the ones who didn't know me, they knew about me.
Yeah, I mean it's a small town. Bro.
They knew about me.
I'm like, hey, this David kid. Have you seen him before? Never.
They're like, do you have this student? Like, dude,
he's a ghost, man.
Administration thought I was a ghost. They thought I didn't exist. They thought I was like a kid who like fucked up on an application, like they fucked up a name or something. Like they didn't thought I existed. When I tell you that the school is connected to a Walmart that's open 24/7. The closest city, Charlotte, is about 30 minutes away. The closest mall is 45 minutes away. The ocean is 3 hours away. And they don't have street posts. So by 9:30 on my first night, it was pitch black at 9 o'clock at night and everything was closed.
Wow, that reminds me of like Kissimmee, like that area. Like once it's dark, it's like, that's it.
It's pitch black. Like you hear crickets and shit. It's fucking...
Man.
So I get there and the school's old as shit. So you're not talking about like... It's North Carolina, dude. Like we're not talking like...
It's like woods.
Yeah. It's fucking forest. And I'm like... All right, what the fuck? Yeah. And when I committed, I looked up the school. I Googled it.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever done that.
after the fact.
After I signed my name. And I read an article from like the 70s or 80s about like how they were like voted like the top party college in the South.
It's been a minute since then, I'll tell you that.
And I was like, whoa, all right. I don't listen, I don't drink, I don't party super hard. That's kind of my excuse for pushing my body and pushing like my health to the limit of like my work.
Yeah.
I literally don't intoxicate myself in any other way. So I can afford to not sleep a lot and not eat a lot and edit for 15 hours straight.
Right.
And that's how I do it. So I got there and I was expecting a fucking like a frat, like empire. Nah, zero.
Crickets.
Fucking empty. And I'm like, all right, this is different. This shit's a little different here. It was like 98% white, like there were like 6 Latinos. All of them, like 4 of them were like local.
Like, they saw you on campus, like, please come here.
They were like, oh my God, you know Bad Bunny? Swear to God, you know Bad Bunny? Can we play at the party? And it was wild because it was
6 Latinos around a speaker, just like, yeah,
dude. It was really like, I remember there was a party that I went to at a dorm. Yeah. It was a senior guy who was a soccer player. And they had the fucking laptop, went up to the speaker, and I swear to God, I lost my shit, dude. I'm walking around with a fucking Bud Light. I'm just walking around with a fucking Bud Light. I'm just like chilling. I'm just like, hi. And Calvin Harris comes on, and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, not like this, dude. It's 20.
And you know they're getting crazy about that shit.
Dude, they get turned. They go crazy. Like it's fucking 11 or space. Yeah, like in fucking like Farruko's in the corner. And
yep.
They're going nuts. And they get a noise complaint from the fucking cops. It's like Calvin Harris. And I'm like, stop.
That's like, I'm done.
So I sneak in and I'm like, all right. I look up Latino. Just look up Latino on Spotify. And I go,
just play.
Shuffle, Q. All of a sudden, Despacito comes on. Because this is like when it was fucking
prime.
pop. Like the Bieber remix had come out.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah, this is my jam. Fuck yeah, Bieber. And everyone's like singing Burrito, Dorito, whatever the fuck that was.
Quesarito.
Yeah. And then Bad Bunny comes on after, and it was Por Siempre.
Oof. I love that fucking album, bro.
Dude, I respect that you're like I'm a huge Bad Bunny
fan.
So Por Siempre comes on, and all of a sudden, like fucking daisies in the fucking snow, Latino, and they start popping up out of nowhere. And there's like 4 of them. And we're all just yelling like a fucking anthem.
People were
like, and we're like, yo, what the fuck? And we start dancing. Because it was La Romana. Oof. And we start dancing. When Alpha comes in, we start dancing. And they're like, yo. They make a dance circle and we pair off.
Like, everyone just look at this.
Yep. And they're like, yo, this is crazy. And it kind of like that environment, out of the shittiness that they created.
Right.
It like that empire vibe kind of fostered itself.
So everyone already knew you as like,
I was doing like my
that's
favorite,
the guy, bro. You got to invite him to the party.
My favorite moment of my first day of college was I was moving into my dorm. My parents had left. Yeah. Like my parents and my sister, they moved me in. They hopped in the fucking van and they left.
Yeah, like we're not saying
like 2 hours later, they went to go see my aunt, hung out, got lunch, and they left like 3 hours later. And I'm alone, and I don't know. Again, I know one girl that I went to high school with. I don't know anybody else on this campus. Yeah. I don't know anybody. And I'm also not trying to be like, Tia, what's up? Can I have food every day? I'm not trying to be that guy. So I'm out there and I'm trying to like meet people and shit. I don't know any of the guys in my room. There are 8 of us. I don't know any of them. I don't know a single dude. My roommate was a kid named Nathan Oakley. You imagine a Nathan Oakley?
This guy was on a series on CNN.
He was a really nice kid.
On the CW, bro.
He was a really quiet, really nice kid. He was a wrestler. Fucking, I'm talking like Casper White. Like blonde, blue eye.
Yeah.
Like the complete opposite. And I'm getting to know them. We just like walk around, whatever. And all of a sudden, I had moved in. I don't know what day it was, but like 3 weeks earlier, I went to visit. Just like actually like see what the fuck I'm going to.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks later, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I had made friends there, and I like already started to like build friendships outside of like my roommate or whoever. Like I knew some people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, from like the other side of the fucking quad, some lax lacrosse guy. Which, you know, lacrosse guys.
Yeah.
Fucking buddies in Vineyard Vines and Sperry's.
Of course.
His fucking, yeah. He yells at me from the quad. He's like, holy shit, it's fucking Camera Guy. And that was my name. No one knew my name.
It's Camera Guy.
I'm Camera Guy.
This episode's called the Camera Guy.
The
Camera Guy interview.
So I did, and I just rolled the punches. Yeah. I did that for like 9 months, every single week, every single day. I took it to class. When I reached 100 subscribers, I didn't have money. I didn't have a single dollar to my name. So I gave away free hugs. I'm so glad.
You gotta get your name out there, bro.
I was a fucking idiot. I didn't make these videos private until like 3 weeks ago when I started my own podcast. These have been out for years.
People got destroyed.
And I'm so glad that none of them have blown up. I'm so glad. I put on a fucking like a vintage Marlins t-shirt. I said, let's go Finns. And I got a piece of cardboard, a Sharpie, and I wrote, giving away free hugs. I tied it to a shoelace and I put it on my fucking, and I walked around with that on a camera giving free hugs, seeing how many I could get.
I mean, get it how you can, bro.
And I was like, listen, I was doing cringy, weird ideas, and I was just having fun.
But at the same time, that's like the kind of content that was out back then too. Like,
it's cringy as fuck.
Yeah,
that's what worked. That's what happened. That's what was cool. But right, like in those, what again, you don't realize in 9 months. In those 9 months, I figured out a lot about like who I was as a creative person, what my style was, how to get better at doing all of this shit. Being again, right, that's how you practice, right? You go to the gym, you do it every single fucking day, and all of a sudden, oh my God, 9 months later, you're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. Same exact philosophy. They offered me a job, second semester. They'd seen my videos. I'm talking like, dude, again, I can talk shit. I feel bad saying it, but I can talk shit now. They were so behind. They didn't use Facebook for marketing. Facebook was like the most advanced thing they used.
And Facebook was already like for older people back then.
They had
like, that was only 3 years. Like
They had an Instagram. They never used it. They were like posting like blogs in like 2019, 2018. Who's doing that? Nobody. Like
people barely read.
Exactly. So they saw what I was doing, and they saw that it was like kind of working. In like 5 months, I had gained like organically like 500 subs.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have money for ads,
of course,
or anything. It was literally just volume and content. They offered me a job, like doing a work study. They offered me a job, and I started making content for the school. They gave me the next semester. They gave me a shot to make like a little like vlog for the school, like content
like
for the school. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I made 1 episode. They liked it. I made 2 episodes. The second one they didn't like it. It was too personable. Not enough information. And I was like, listen.
People come here for
it's one for current students, but it's also like for like I want to attract kids, not their parents. I want to get kids here. Kids like this shit. Not like I'm not trying to give stats.
Yeah.
And they pulled the plug. They didn't like the program. They didn't like they gave me a studio, a budget. They gave me They gave me a room that only I had the key to, not even my boss. They gave me everything.
What a fucking dream.
And dude, I was like, this is like the beginning of my empire. And 3 weeks later, they pull the plug, and I'm like, fuck.
Back to my dorm room. That key back?
Yeah, dude. I tried to make a copy, and I was like, nah, it's fucked up. I can't do that. That's mean. But I just had fun, dude. They had a fucking a hub, like a student hub thing, like which is like desks and shit. We could like go do classes and shit, like just study and do homework and shit. And it was open 24/7, on top of like next to some offices or like administration. And my dorm room was all the way at the end of the dorm room. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to walk back every single day. Plus my bed was literally every single night was full of like camera shit every single night, and clothing and props that I had built or whatever. So I didn't feel like cleaning that every day. So I would, that's so stupid, damn. Fuck, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Like how the fuck do I think of that? It's so stupid. I got a beanbag chair.
Okay.
And I get to my dorm room at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Sit on my beanbag chair and knock the fuck out. I would get to my room at like 9 a.m. I'd leave my door cracked open. And I texted this kid who lived like across the hallway from me. His name was Nick. And Nick had a 10 a.m. class. So I'd get into like 8:30, knock out. And I'm a really heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
And I text Nick when I got to my dorm and was like, hey, I know you have a 10 a.m. Wake me up when you leave. And Nick would walk in, wake me up, and I'd start my day again.
Right.
And I'd film and I'd do shit and whatever. And I'd go to class and I'd film that and whatever. But I eventually got tired of doing that and just walking so much.
Right.
So in the hub, the like student center thing, they had a room with 2 couches. So I put them together and I slept in the hub for like a week. I went to my dorm room, I showered, brushed my teeth, changed clothes, came back.
How did nobody notice you?
They did.
Oh, I'm like,
I didn't give a fuck. I would wake up and people were doing their homework 10 feet away from me. But I moved my mini fridge in there, my microwave.
You're lying.
I swear to God, I wish I had pictures. I have one time lapse of like me sleeping that I dare like my boy who was like my best friend.
This is content.
Yeah, dude. I straight up like I came up with like the stupidest shit, and I lived there for a week.
Damn, that could go viral.
It could, right? Like you think about that now, and like, damn, that's actually kind of a good idea.
Living in my student section for a week, yo, that's a free idea.
You think it's kind of like it could work, right? But when you're doing it, you're like, damn, this is really fucking out there. Like, this is stupid. This is whack, dude. They had a TV. I hooked up my fucking like my laptop, and like my boys would come and like hook up their PS5, and we run a few games and shit. And I lived there for a week, and eventually one dude who had an office right there came up to me. He's a dean, and he was like, "Son, you can't be doing this." And I'm like, "This is not open 24 hours." He's like, "Yes, but you can't live here. Why not? Is there a rule?" And they made a fucking rule in the constitution of they addended the constitution of the school for me.
Damn, bro, you're like Jordan.
Yeah.
I
changed the
game. David rule, bro.
Yeah. I changed the way like organizations are structured. But yeah, I just did stupid shit, and then I flunked out. I flew a little bit too close to the sun. I got burned and I flunked out. And yeah, like I just came back here, that's a whole story. Like that was by far like the biggest L I've ever gotten in life.
Flunking?
Yeah. Cause my big fear when I flunked out was I don't want to be the guy. Cause I remember, I vividly remember I criticized that kid in high school.
Yeah. Same here.
You see the kid who was like a big deal in high school. I remember my guy, his name. who peaked.
Yeah.
And buddy just comes back to high school, going to say hi to professors, and you're like, damn, that's like what you offered the world. Like that's what you did.
Yeah.
All the potential.
We used to make fun of those people that they used to come back to the football games, and
they
knew nobody there. They're just like watching. They're like, yeah, it's like
I went here in '68. I was like, all right, bitch, go home.
Is your daughter here?
Yeah, like, does your granddaughter go here? No, they don't. I was
I was just really close to the school.
Yep. And you made fun of those dudes, right? You shit on those people, and all of a sudden I was one of those dudes, and I was like, I'm the guy who flunked out, fizzled out, and came home with my tail between my legs and lived in my mom's house, and like I'm that kid, and that scared me. So, yeah, no, it sucked, right? Because I ended up flunking out. And again, my aunt lived 5 minutes away. So I flunked out, and she looks at me, and she's like, hey, I had flunked out twice at the school already. First time after freshman year. Mm-hmm. Then I appealed. Did a whole process. They reviewed on everything, and I stayed this summer. I did classes to like boost up my GPA. They were like, okay, if you flunk again, you can't come back. You can't appeal again. So I flunked out again. Can't appeal. She looks at me, she goes, hey, you can live here rent-free, but you have to either go to community college or get a job. And I was like, fuck, yeah, I'm there. Let's do it. I'm 5 minutes away from my homies. I don't have to pay rent. I get a job, that's normal. I go to school, that's normal.
Yeah.
But I'm like still in my bubble. I'm still in my zone. I'm still I'm close to where I was thriving. And I was dead set on it. I was like good to go. All of a sudden, like my parents call me and they're like really upset, and I was like, I don't budge. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'm not going backwards. I'm not going back to square one. All of that anger was a defense mechanism because of my fear of being that guy, right?
Right.
Looking at it now, that's what was happening. My dad is like my best friend.
Yeah.
Like he's my bro.
Yeah, same.
He's not the emotional parent. He's my everyday parent, but like the person like sucker punch me emotionally at any given time is my mom. Mm-hmm. But my dad calls me, and my dad like breaks down that wall, and we have like a really emotional conversation, and I just get really quiet and I listen. And the short of it was he was like I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what is coming, which he always does. He's that guy. Like he's really fucking smart. But he's like just trust me that this is the best thing for you. And I was like, all right. I was tired of fighting, and I just gave up. I surrendered. And the next day, he showed up. I packed all my shit up, and I left. So I get here early December of 2018. Mm-hmm. I get through Christmas. I get through New Year's. All the awkwardness of family and shit, and what happened, and all that stuff.
Hey, la cuera.
Yeah.
Good.
And eventually, I'm like, Mom, hey, listen, give me 6 months. Give me one semester. I'm not going to go to school. I'll get a job. I'll get a full-time job. If not, I'll get a part-time job. I'll get 2 part. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Give me 6 months to like figure my life out. And she's like, no, you live in my house, you're going to school, and you're getting a job tomorrow, bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, dude. Okay.
Canceled.
But keep in mind, when I left high school, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't really have, like, all my friends kind of fizzled out, the few that I had. So I didn't know anybody in the city. I was 100% alone. I had no friends. I had no boys. Nah, I'm alone in like the middle of the pool of my like greatest failure by myself. Just alone, just sitting there thinking about it. And I'm like, fuck it. So I enroll at Dade. Start my semester at Dade. Whatever.
Welcome.
I'm like, go Sharks. And I get a job. It took me a little bit to get a job. My sister was working at the Port of Miami, and she got me a job. She got me an interview, and I got the job. And it was luckily it wasn't my first job ever, but it was the only job I've ever had, first and last, that I like genuinely hated. Like it was my first and last like real shitty job that I just fucking hated going to.
Yeah.
And it was doing like immigration documentation shit for like cruise passengers, which as far as like shitty jobs go is great. Like I got to wear a suit, I'm in air conditioning. It probably
pays well, but you're like, fuck.
I was making $9 an hour.
Never mind. Take that back. There's air conditioning.
I was in a suit.
But you're just miserable, right? Like
no, I just fucking hated it. Like I couldn't sit. They didn't have chairs. I had to stand for like 5-6 hours and just like argue with like some old Turkish man
who's trying to like get on.
Who's trying to get on a fucking cruise, and I'm like, sir, where is your visa? And he's like, and I was like, I'm so
he
sorry.
hands you his debit card. He's like, no.
I got in trouble because I eventually made the realization of like, oh my God, wait, Google Translate. I don't have to fight with these people. Listen, here, say your thing. Here's my thing. And I got in trouble for using my phone in the middle of work. And they like went into an investigation, and it was a whole shit. And I was like, I hate this job. I fucking hate my life. Right before, actually, funny enough, right before I was supposed to start that job, I started that job in March. On February 26th of 2019, I was a month into Dade. I was supposed to start my job like 2 weeks later.
Okay.
I got a call from a friend of mine who was living in LA with her cousin, making videos, doing great. They're fucking killing it now. They live here now. They moved back, but they are really, really talented people, really, really nice people. And her dad is like imagine like a Gary Vee, but Latino. He's like a keynote speaker on like psychology and marketing and shit. He's huge. He's great, really successful guy. And I had helped them with some editing stuff. They were doing YouTube and stuff back then. And they called me, and it was a Tuesday, February 26th, 2019. I'll never forget it. And I got the call, and she's like, hey, my dad wants to hire you to shoot his videos. We want you to be in Colombia on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop.
No mal.
Because in my head, right, this was like the dream that I had when I was like 17.
Right.
This is like the dream that got away, right? When you start making videos, you're like, damn, I want to be Jay Alvarez. Fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I want to go to Bali and make videos for fun. Fuck yeah, why not? I want to get paid to do that. Of course, why not? And then you realize, for those of you listening, I don't look like Jay Alvarez, okay? That's not me. That's not me. Not yet. I'm going to the gym starting, but that's not me. I don't have like the skills. I haven't been doing this for like 5-10 years already. Right. I'm just starting. I don't have the skill set. No one's going to pay me. I'm inexperienced. I'm a kid. So of course you let that dream go. And then all of a sudden in like the middle of like the worst failure of my life, I'm like, right, like my peak in my head, like the best thing that can happen on the fucking planet tomorrow is that the school calls me and says, hey, we'd like to readmit you.
That's the best thing that you
I'm trying to
that's
fucking,
like, yes.
I'm like, yo, that's a miracle.
I made it.
And then to get the call of like, fuck America, fuck school, North Carolina, fuck all of that.
Yeah.
You want to come travel the world? I was offered $1,000 a month to make 3 to 4 videos. I would get everything covered: travel expenses, visas, food, transportation, hotels.
Yeah, everything. Like after that, $1,000 is like,
I got nothing to lose.
Right.
And they were like, we want you to come to Colombia for a month. You try it for a month. If it works out, if my dad likes the content, if the chemistry is right, you sign a contract for a year, and we bounce around the entire world. But you have to leave. You have to be in Colombia on Thursday.
I just packed my shit in.
I'm like, all right. I went to Men's Warehouse and got my suit for my new job. I'm so excited. Great. Okay, great. I got my fucking name tag, and I was like, nice. And now all of a sudden I get this call, and I'm like, all right.
Return.
I honestly, like, until I get the opportunity to, like, I don't have a girlfriend, but until like the day I propose or I get married or like I have kids, I'm pretty sure, or like Elian fucking gets a Grammy or get a VMA or some shit, like until like the next really, really big thing in my life happens, those 2 days, I took those 2 days from Tuesday to Thursday to like finish and figure all of that out. Those 48 hours are the most emotional 48 hours of my entire life. I called everybody that I knew, every friend that I left behind, in tears. And everyone tells me the same thing. Fuck yeah, this is your moment. You deserve it. Go get it. Fuck yeah, like leave school. Who gives a shit? Like send it. I tell my parents. Tell my grandparents.
A little different. We
sit down and talk. We call the guy. We talk about it. And they're like, I don't think we should go. And then I call from everybody. I call like my inner circle. And I tell them that. And everyone tells me the same thing. Fuck it. Fuck. Who gives a fuck what your mom says? Fuck it.
Yeah, but to you it's different because you have to make the decision.
You owe it to yourself to try. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And I'm like, every half hour, I walk outside and call everybody.
Yeah.
Half hour later, I come back inside. We have a fucking screaming match. And I repeat that 4, 5, 6 times. I walk out the house across the street, and I'm on the sidewalk talking to like one of my best friends who's a girl, and Like we both start breaking down tears and crying. And I walk back inside and we yell, and it's a whole like emotional draining thing. And at the end of it, I say no.
Oh, you didn't go?
I turned it down.
Damn, I'm thinking you're. I'm like, yo, I'm not. What was the trip to Colombia like?
No, I turned it down. And I went to school the next day, and I got my shitty job, and I had my shitty job for 6 months, and I did that.
Damn, but you know what? I think because you said no and like you had to go back to that, I feel like that's what like made you be like, all right, I tried this, I'm done with that shit. Like
I think it made me confront my fear, because I realized I wanted to live with my aunt so bad because I wanted to run away from my fear.
Right.
And I was so down to leave to Colombia and like just uproot my life completely to not have to face my fear. That was the whole thing. The whole thing was it was me running away. I look at it now and I'm like, damn, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Like, I actually had to sit down, sit in my shitty job, and let life kick my ass a little bit. And I mean, like, I can't, like, listen, that was almost 2 years ago now. That was in 2019. That was almost 3 years ago now. Jesus Christ. Wow. Fuck.
It flies.
Jesus. I can't argue with the results.
Right.
I really can't. I would have never started my brand. I would have never met Joey or Liang or John or Trey. I wouldn't have met any of these guys. I wouldn't have started designing clothes again. I wouldn't, like, that's led to me making a lot of relationships in LA and becoming like a decent sized designer that people just kind of don't know about, really under the radar. And
I saw you recently came back from a trip to
I went to LA and then I went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
For work. Paid.
That is a dream, bro. Like you get paid to travel.
Only that,
like you have to work, but it's like you see the world.
I referred Jose and they brought Jose.
Yeah.
Like he talked about it. He said to me, he's like, his dream for the past like 2 years was like to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it's cool that like I was able to facilitate that.
Right.
And like I put in enough work with like the people that I work with now to have the confidence in me, like, listen, trust me, bring the kid. Like I swear, like you're not gonna regret it. Bring him.
He took some fire.
He's great. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
and like, I used to be like, I look at college and I look at that experience and I was like, I was a one-man show. And I think now, though it has come with struggle and though it has come with facing the insecurity of like giving up creative control, I am way more excited. I'm way better. Like, I'm just a lot more efficient. I'm a lot more effective when I'm part of a machine that I trust. And I have that now.
Yeah, that's tough to find though.
That's insanely difficult to find.
I get you so much on that because it's like you don't want to give too much creative power over because that's your baby. That's your baby. That's like you don't want anything to happen to
No one's ever gonna know. For real, that is Nemo. That's 100%. Like no one's ever gonna know that thing better than you do.
Exactly. And it's like, man, but it's like feeling that you can like pass something to somebody else and they value it too.
Fuck that. Like the fact that it's like, I'm at the point now, and it took what, a year?
Yeah.
It took a year of me bringing in Jose. What it is, like the short of what it is it's respect.
Yeah.
It's respect. You have to respect the person because you can trust somebody, but they can let you down. You can choose to forgive them. That's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you have to really, really respect that person and their ability. And you have to be like open enough to be like, listen, when we started my brand, Jose took the photos. I edited the photos because I didn't trust Joey.
Right.
It was after a year consistently of talking to that kid more than I talked to my mom. Like I would call that kid every single day at 3 a.m, show him a new design. He'd answer. We'd talk the next day. Keep in mind, I've never paid him. I didn't pay him a penny for any of that. I didn't pay him a penny
for taking the pictures.
Anything.
That's crazy.
I have never, ever. If I were really, really to hire that kid for everything that I've done with him, I'm in the whole 30 grand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, yeah.
I'm in the whole with that kid 30 grand.
Yesterday's price, not today's price.
Easily, I'm in the whole 30 grand. But I put him into play. And I asked him to help me with my things. And every time that someone would ask me, like, who's your photographer? I'd always say him.
Yeah.
And every time that he needed help with something, I would go, no questions asked. And it was the mutual respect that we earned for each other because we were there for each other.
Right.
Regardless, again, when you build something with no contracts, with no money, When you build something and you build a relationship out of nothing but trust and respect, that shit is difficult to break.
Yeah.
That shit is intact. Okay?
For you, I guess, briefly, like, what's your creative process like when you kind of like, let's say you have a project to do, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, what's that like concepting like?
So my brain operates on references.
Okay.
So when you say, I wake up and my back hurts, I'm sneezing, I think of Tempur-Pedic commercial.
Right.
And that Tempur-Pedic commercial is based on a commercial, and I'm now piecing a new commercial in my head.
Yeah.
So my brain operates on references. How do I get to that point? I do what a lot of people don't like, specifically my parents. When you ask Elian, who do you look to for inspiration? Elian sits down and watches a Drake interview. I do that exact same thing. You ask somebody, how do you know when you go to dental school? How do you know when you go to medical school? How do you know where this body part is and what that does and what this name is and what like the Latin? You sit down and you read textbooks and you watch keynotes. I do the exact same thing. My research, my recon, is movies and TV shows and podcasts. Right? How do you know how to be a podcaster? You watch a lot of podcasts. And after some period of time, right, you develop that kind of muscle memory of like, okay, so when this person says this thing, this is a good point to transition to the next question. And the same thing is editing.
Yeah.
Now you know that when I did this, now you can cut to this angle of view so you don't have to see me doing this. When this thing falls asleep, then you can cut to me, and you learn that.
Right.
And the way that you do that subconsciously, for me, is I just watch movies and Netflix. I see the same movie 3 times in a row in one sit down.
Yeah.
First time, because I've never seen it before. Second time, so I really, really get the story down. And I can like really, really understand and focus on details the next time. And I don't have to like be like, oh, I'm lost. Third time, I'm fucking playing joystick with the remote. Rewind that 10 seconds. Where's that shot from? How's that lighting done? Where is the angle? How do they transition? How do they cut? What's the music like? When does the music cut? How does it and I dissect it, all of it. And I do that 4 times. I watch that movie 12 times. Never have to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the editing process we were talking about before camera. Before we started recording. Bro, you mentioned a little bit about you designing clothes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up. And I was actually talking to George on the drive here. I'm like, yo, I can't wait for you to hear like what the meaning behind the brand. Because I did my research, bro. I did my research. And I actually listened to the reason why, but I just want you to explain like behind the name of your brand. And yeah, bro. Like I listened to that and I was like, yo.
I tried designing clothes in college in North Carolina, and I was following this YouTuber named Justin Escalona. Who was really, really big on cinematics. That's how I found him. He's a guy in LA. Okay. He was going to USC film school. So of course, his fucking videos were incredible. But he was also making clothes. And so the gateway drug for him was the cinematic stuff, the YouTube stuff, like the film stuff. And then I saw he was making clothes, and I kind of liked the idea. So I made a sweater for myself. I had tried it in college. I tried to make a brand in college, and it sucked.
I feel like everyone has to go through
that. Everyone
tried it.
It was sucked. I couldn't afford to make like 3 shirts. It was awful.
I was like, oh, I just had an idea for 1 shirt, not a brand.
Exactly. So it failed. So I rehashed the idea, and I was like, I'm making 1 sweater for me, and I had my name on it. I wore it for a few weeks. People started asking me like, yo, that's kind of sick. Like, what is that? That's kind of cool. It was super simple. It was my name and a fucking circle of words around. And people started liking it. So they're like, yo, can you sell those? Like, can I buy one? And I was like, okay, cool. So we're going to do this again. We're going to try to make a brand again. But I don't want it to be about me. Funny enough, I spend the next few weeks designing. That was like my creative fix. And I was writing a fucking paper, and I hate that I owe my company and my brand. I hate that I owe that to school. I fucking hate it. But it is what it is. It's a good story. I was writing a paper for a psychology class that I was taking. And I was looking up like fucking...
statistics?
Yeah, I was looking up in a database. That's what it was.
Right.
I was looking up articles on the database. And I come across this article by Inc. And I eventually printed it out, and I have it framed in my room. And it says like 92% of people don't achieve the dreams and goals they set for themselves in life. This is how the 8% succeeds. And I just liked the way that sounded. I liked like the fact that I could do like the initial thing, and it was a letter. I liked that I had a cool meaning. I liked that it was like different. It wasn't necessarily about a giant community. It was about taking a small percentage of that community and making it bigger and recruiting people into that. And I like that sense of community. So I use that. And that's how the 8% as a brand came around. That's how the studio came around. Like now the studio is like my main focus. We've kind of stopped doing clothes. I've focused more on like bigger projects, like especially with musicians and designing and young. And the clothing is now on the back burner, but it's part of the studio. It's like merchandise. And so my structure now for the whole thing is kind of like Lyrical Lemonade.
Yeah.
And that's a really big influence for me in terms of like how to structure the studio now. But that's where it came from. The whole thing is about, you know, like how the fuck can we be the people that actually strive and push for doing that success number and pushing that. I love that the goal for the 8% is always to make the name obsolete.
Right.
I want it to be more than 8%. I've always tried to, that's always been the dream, is like to make, I want the 8% to kind of be ironic and that it doesn't make sense anymore. Not 8%. Exactly. Anymore. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So yeah, that's where the name came from.
Dude, I love that story. Like, especially like, it's like so many people, and we talked about it before, like so many people settle for their lives. And it's
I hate that shit.
Ah, man.
Settling like, for mediocrity is the biggest turnoff for me in business, in
everything. It's like, why do it?
Dude, I will not date a girl.
Because
it's happened. Yeah. I will not date a girl because we got Starbucks and just went for a walk. Like super chill. Nothing. Yeah. Like I didn't try to impress her. I'm like, I don't have tons of money. I picked up in my fucking Toyota. It's normal. And she was like, oh my God, like you're so busy and you have like a lot of cool things happening. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's great. It's obviously like difficult work to make, but and we talked about like my life. And then I did the exact same thing I just did. I was like, I think I'm talking way too much.
There you go.
Like, tell me about you. And she's like, okay, yeah. Study nursing at FIU. And I do that. And I work with a charity. And I was like, that's sick. That's great. Love that. And she's like, besides that, that's pretty much it. And every weekend I'm at Centro. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm done. Like,
it's like, but what do you do?
What do you do? Like, what do you strive for besides just like, this is how I'm going to use my degree?
Yeah.
Like, what do you, like, I'm not saying that's mediocre, but just like, I don't know. Like, dude, we're in the fucking, like, dude, there's never been a better time.
Yeah.
There's never been a better time to do like crazy shit.
Like, what do you think about side hustles? I think having a side hustle, or like not even a side hustle, but like a hobby you do often, is super beneficial.
I think those are very different things. I think people have forgotten the meaning of hobbies.
Yeah.
I think now everything has to be a side hustle, and everything that you do that doesn't make you money is unproductive. I think that's really fucking stupid, because I think we're gonna fall into the same problem that we're criticizing. I think that we're being hypocrites.
Yeah.
You make 98% of your day is dedicated to your 7 side hustles, right? You Google how to be a millionaire. Have 6 income streams, 7 income streams.
Yeah, super easy.
Of course, you fall into that trap. Everyone does, of course, because you want to be a millionaire. Of course, you don't want to wait till you're 45, 50 to have money. Of course not. And then all of a sudden, your entire life is making money. And you're in the same thing you didn't want to get into. You didn't want to be the guy that went to school and got a job. But now the result is the same. So I have hobbies that I never, ever, ever, ever plan to turn into businesses.
That's the best. I think it's time to like rebrand the whole
I think
like
this overworking thing is really overrated until you try it. I think this whole like burnout is cool.
Yeah.
Because I fell into that.
I'm doing that right now.
My whole thing was like I don't sleep and I can function without sleep and I don't drink coffee. I don't drink Red Bull and I'm a different breed. I'm a fucking machine.
No.
It's not cool. Yeah. Viejo. It's not. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it has to do something with like getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
Not being in college. Right? Because I left college. I went back to college. But I really like left the college environment when I was 19. Super young. And I spent from 19 to 22 kind of living in the real world.
Yeah, same.
And it's very different out here. And it's really ironic that now, right, everyone was like, oh my God, aren't you jealous of your friends who are in college? And I'm like, yeah, I am. All of a sudden not, right? Because they have the life. All they got to do is go to class and they get to party and have fun and drink.
It's like determined for them.
It's great. Yeah. It just looks super chill. And then now that I'm 22 and my friends are graduating, they graduated in May, everyone's like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? And I was like, this is where I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm really I don't regret those 2 years that I went to college at all and I flunked out. At all.
I think you learned a lot, bro.
I got out of my system.
Yeah.
I scratched the itch. I got it out of my system. And now I operate in the real world where, right, because I've realized talking with a lot of my friends who are going through this problem, the whole issue with these people who have never tried businesses, because I kind of give up on school, like my motivation. When I was 10, I was like 10 or 11. I was like fifth grade. Ever since then, it has been I feel so bad for my parents. Ever since like 5th grade, it has been an emotional roller coaster. No, I swear to God, dude, it's like to be honest, like it's the reason that I'm still it's the reason I'm still in school.
Yeah,
because it's the one thing they've always asked of me. They've never asked for anything else in my entire life. School? That's it, because neither of them did. So of course, like I feel like that's the one thing that I owe them, and I want to stick to that. So for people who like only dedicate themselves to school, right? Because when I gave up on school, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go to school because I have to, obviously.
Right. You had something else in mind. You had like I did
little side hustles, and I sold world famous chocolate bars and fucking Skittles and pixie sticks and everything. And that was my focus until I found cameras. Yeah. That was my thing. So for the people that didn't do that and like really, really stuck to academics, the whole thing of graduating college is, if I don't have the identity label of being a student, I don't know who I am.
Right.
They're lost. And we don't have to deal with that.
That's what that whole like time of your life is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
It's like 100%. Try different shit, see what you like.
Exactly. You're supposed to taste things. You're supposed to try things and figure out what your passion is and who you are.
I switched majors like 3 times.
I didn't even give a fuck. I went in.
Bro, it wasn't
every single time it was business admin.
It wasn't until one of my best friends like kind of showed me what he did, because I started off business admin.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
Everybody.
Almost.
Everybody who doesn't know what the fuck I want to do is business admin.
Yo, this math shit, I like math, but it ain't for me. Like, I was never bad at math, but I was like, not it.
I love math. It's my favorite subject.
Yeah, I was like, not it, chief.
But doing that for the rest of my life, fuck that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
No way.
And then I went to, I switched from that to communications.
Okay, that's what I'm doing now.
Right. And then, because I was like, wait, to get a bachelor's, you don't need to go through this math class? That's why I was like, communications is it.
I'm doing both now, dude.
Ooh.
I'm communications and business double major with a minor in psychology.
Praying for you.
So right now, I'm in my last semester of DAID. It took me 6 years to get an associate's, motherfuckers. It took me 6 years to get an associate's.
Hey, some people don't have it, though.
You're not wrong.
Hey, it'll be 5 for me when I get in spring.
There you go. So I'm at my last semester at DAID right now. Right now, I'm taking, right, because I've also, I shot myself in the foot, right, because I was doing classes only Tuesday and Thursday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I could do my other stuff.
Right.
Now I'm out of prerequisites. So I have to take it wherever it falls. And now I'm taking classes Monday through Friday every single day.
Yeah.
And they're all maths. Econ.
Praying for you, bro.
Econ, accounting lab, business, calculus, statistics.
Yeah.
All of them. All I want.
Bro, but yeah, bro. I mean, that's what college is about, bro. Like,
yeah, of course.
It wasn't until my girl's best friend's boyfriend, which now we're all cool. Like, we're all,
of course.
Until he was like, because I went communications / journalism. Like, that was like the,
like your vibe.
Yeah.
Like your just general area.
So I did writing, and then, but if you would have asked me in like when I was 10, like, oh yeah, you're gonna be a writer, I'm like, yeah, okay. Like,
I hate writing.
It's a process.
I'm good at it,
right?
But I hate it because I'm good at storytelling.
Exactly.
But I don't have the motivation. Like, sit there. I don't know how the fuck you guys sit there and type for hours.
Bro, I'm gonna give it.
Then again, I do it for editing.
Speak to.
Oh, you guys dictate?
Yeah.
Fuck that. Hell no, dude. Like, I'll
edit it, but like that's how I get most of like the.
I'll sit there and edit a video for hours. I don't care.
Yeah.
But just seeing Microsoft Word makes me want to vomit. I hate it. You know the last time I opened Microsoft Word?
I don't use. They have it on
anything
on
pages.
Google Doc.
That thing I haven't. Never, not once. I haven't used it since junior year of high school.
What do you do? Just off your head?
I go to the teacher and I'm like, hi, can I give a speech?
Yeah.
I don't prepare anything.
Yeah.
I get all the information in my head. I walk up one day and I'm like, all right, talk.
Right.
That's it.
But yeah, bro. Like literally, my friend was like, oh yeah, I do this. Like I write, but for advertising, which is like way better lifestyle.
Of course, that's way different.
It's
than
like
sitting writing term papers and shit.
Bro, he was like, oh yeah, like if we don't have ideas, we just go concept and like we just go to a bar and like kind of talk it out. I was like,
shit, okay.
I was like, I'm about that.
Why not?
It's like it's not like a typical work environment.
What's your favorite project that we've done, Elian and me?
It's not out anymore.
Oh yeah, that's it now. Yeah, which one?
Doing a lot, bro. I love and the quick cuts on that shit. I'm like, yo, it was super clean. Like, I was
that project scared the shit out of me.
I was like, man,
that project scared the fuck out of me. You know, I have a lot of respect for that kid, and the whole team. Like, Trey, Gio, and John. The whole dynamic of everybody is very, very great. I think we're a good team. That kid's a fucking superstar. They're all gonna be. It's crazy.
I see it, bro.
It's crazy.
I see the whole team just going up, bro.
They're all so different, but they're all really, really good. They have a great energy together. And Elan, look, he's the first one, and right, like you look at like most things in life, and the first time you try something is usually like the most difficult to maneuver.
Yeah. After that, you've seen everything.
That dude,
it's just gonna make it easier for the rest of the guys.
Exactly. It's only gonna get easier.
Think ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, ASAP like.
It's only gonna clear the way. So all three of them are gonna be crazy. But
I'm excited to see what y'all got, bro. I really am.
I'm excited. We haven't, you know, we're playing a long game, especially I think in terms of like visuals and stuff. I definitely want to. I definitely appreciate that they don't ever like tear me down creatively at all. Like we don't fight really ever, like at all. Yeah. Not like we've ever fought once.
Right.
And you know, we have moments where like we figure things out and like we bounce ideas between each other to figure out what it is we're gonna do and what's feasible, what's affordable, because we're not there yet to where we have like tens of thousands and millions of dollars of budgets. But again, same thing with my relationship with Joey. If you can build something under the stress of not having money, under the stress of doing it just like with your boys, when you get to that, I've always said it, when we get the budget, when we get that opportunity, it's going to be wild. Because you think of the stuff that we've been able to make now with no time, very little money. Look at Banco Vidal.
Yeah, insane.
Banco Vidal, like, 7 months into him being signed?
I mean, he got $1 million.
With a major artist. It's life changing. It's crazy. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, no, thanks for watching.
Yeah, bro. I think we're gonna before we dip, you want to quickly plug your podcast, everything you're doing, and your social?
Sure. The hub for everything that I kind of do now is at T8P Studios. My personal thing is DRCR on all platforms. My podcast is 249 Pen. And yeah, dude, that's it. I'm not a really big plug guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a really big plug dude. I'm much more of a. We can talk about that on my podcast.
Yeah.
I've actually never like once shot my shot or anybody.
Yeah.
Or anybody at all. So it's not in my nature, but I appreciate if you guys.
If people fuck with it, they'll come, bro.
Exactly. I appreciate if you guys fuck with it at all. So I'm excited for the future.
Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I at least I really did, and just if you guys want. Fuck with your boy.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
Until next time, guys. Thank you. Peace.